Sudan's army is trying to fight back an offensive by the para-rapid military support forces near the Wad Madani, a major city that had so far been spared from fighting. Civilians have over the past 8 months sought to shelter in the city as it had been relatively safe. The latest clashes there threaten to open a new front in a conflict that has displaced nearly 7 million people. Witnesses say RSF soldiers had reached Alela, which is 15 kilometers from Wad Madani. No fighting has so far been reported inside Wad Madani, but witnesses have seen army planes flying overhead and heard explosions. Posts by people asking about safe routes out of the city and photos of people preparing to leave have been shared on social media. A takeover of Wad Madani, where some government and aid services have relocated to, would likely cause massive displacement and deepen the humanitarian crises in the country. The UN has warned of famine-like conditions in areas directly affected by the conflict. The fighting between the army and the RSF broke out in Khartoum in mid-April. Attempts to mediate between the warring sides have so far not been successful. Well, we are joined by Wad Madani, who is in Port Sudan, for more on these developments. Naba, welcome to the program. Thank you for talking to us here on Africa Live. Naba, what is the latest on efforts by Sudan's army to hold off the attacks by the rapid support forces in Wad Madani?
Actually, Richard, efforts are still going on, and the Sudanese army are trying their best to secure Madani city because it's the capital of Al Jazeera state. Right now, the Sudanese army blocked the bridge and the only access to Madani, and fighting in the eastern of Madani. The rapid support forces, paramilitary forces, right now are settling down near eastern Madani, which is 15 kilometers, very close to petroleum stations and petroleum reservoirs. So right now the military are surrounding Madani from all of the sides, and of course they are securing the sea because they are expecting that the militia will try to cross from the sea. Tensions are still going on, and reports say at least 70 cars from the rapid support forces were totally destructed, but there are fears that the fighting will escalate and the paramilitary forces will try their best to enter inside Madani, and right now they are not very far from the city itself.
All right, Wad Madani, time has caught up with us. Let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your insight and analysis. Much appreciated. Now, we are now joined by our Ambassador Simon Mulongo, the former deputy head of AMISOM. He is a consultant on governance, peace, and security. He is joining us via Zoom from Kampala, Uganda. Ambassador Mulongo, thank you for joining us. Just days after IGAD met and called on the two rival Sudanese leaders to meet, the conflict shows no sign of easing. What will it take for the guns to fall silent in Sudan? Ambassador?
Thank you so much for having me. I think the problem in Sudan are multiple interests, some of which are divisive. For example, there are too many actors who are attempting to do the mediation with vested interests. And among the neighbors of the Sudan are equally interested. We have also 3 other major players in the Middle East. And then we have Europe and America. And all these seem to have their own vested interests, and that complicates the mediation efforts. And as such, the attempt by IGAD has not borne fruit because they have not been able to bear in terms of enabling these two warring parties to look at them with the confidence and the respect they deserve as IGAD member states. And that means we do not have a clear mediator that can weigh in, who can be respected by the two warring parties yet.
All right, Ambassador, you touched a little bit on it on your initial answer about the major challenges faced in resolving the conflict in Sudan. My question to you directly is, what do you think should be done to address them so as to secure a lasting solution?
I think about 2 or 3 things. The first one is that we must identify one lead actor to be the mediator, one who can win the confidence of the two parties. That one has not been identified yet, because IGAD member states being a number, and some of whom the two parties have suspicions about, cannot come in collectively to mediate successfully. That's one. The second one is to ensure that we unify all these other mediation efforts together. In other words, the region should be given a chance. One lead party should take the lead, and then we should have all those external actors fall into place to support this one lead person. The third one is having an intervention force, a force that will come in and create corridors, safe havens for humanitarian assistance, because currently ceasefire efforts are not really bearing fruit. And we cannot have the genocide, near genocide and genocidal tendencies going on, and a lot of people suffering, rape and so on, without any corridor for people to run into. So I think it's very important to have an intervention force that can create safe havens for purposes of humanitarian assistance and support.